The missing convoy. How 80 million vanished overnight. The desert was quiet until the radio went dead. 5 armored trucks, loaded with cash seized from a cartel raid, rolled through the flat stretch between El Paso, Texas, and the New Mexico border. Their headlights cut through the dust, and the hum of engines filled the air. But at 2:17 a.m., every GPS tracker blinked out, all at once. Inside the command post back in El Paso, Agent Ryan Cole leaned over his monitor and froze. "We just lost them," he said, his voice tight. The radar screen that had shown 5 green dots seconds ago now showed nothing but static. "That's impossible," muttered his supervisor, Agent Harper. "Convoys don't just vanish." The radio crackled once, a sharp, distorted noise, and then silence. For exactly 7 minutes, no one could reach them. When the signal came back online, the trucks were gone. Not slowed down, not rerouted, completely gone. Tire tracks on the sand stopped halfway across the highway, as if the vehicles had been lifted off the ground. By dawn, helicopters searched the area. No wreckage, no bodies, just the faint smell of diesel and burned metal. $80 million in seized cash had vanished overnight. That was when the first false signal appeared, a mirrored convoy, miles away, replaying the same GPS route, perfectly synced. It was as if someone had copied their entire journey and was running it again, like a ghost echo. "We're tracking shadows," Cole whispered. Then came the call. A voice on an encrypted line said, "Stop looking, Agent Cole. It's already been replaced." The line went dead. Ryan Cole hadn't always worked for the Bureau. He started as a military systems analyst, the kind who noticed things others missed. When the DEA took down the cartel's westbound routes, Cole was assigned to help transport the cash for evidence processing. A job he thought would be simple. He didn't know the case was cursed from the start. The convoy had left at midnight from a secured warehouse in Dallas. Every vehicle was double-armored, every driver vetted, every route classified. The operation was codenamed Iron Route. Even the drivers didn't know their destination until they were already on the road. But someone did. The team noticed small things: a drone hovering far off the road, headlights blinking in patterns that didn't match highway timing, a static burst on the radio that repeated every 23 seconds. Cole brushed it off as interference until one of the techs, a young analyst named Jordan, showed him something strange. The GPS system was showing 2 convoys, identical coordinates, identical speeds, one just a few miles behind the other. "Could be a glitch," Harper said. But Cole's gut said otherwise. At 2:15 a.m., Jordan called him again, panic in his voice. "Sir, I think someone's..." Static. Cole ran to the screens. The convoy's signals were flickering, replaced by ghosted coordinates that pulsed in sync like a heartbeat. Then, blackout. The next thing they saw was sand. Empty desert, faint scorch marks, and nothing else. Not even the convoy's tire impressions past a certain point, like they had driven off the map. Cole stared at the screen, hands shaking. "They didn't crash," he said softly. "They were taken." Agent Harper turned to him. "Taken by who?" Before Cole could answer, an alert flashed on the main screen. Another convoy had just appeared. Same license plates, same route, same start time. Only this one was moving toward them. The mirrored convoy moved like a reflection. Same speed, same pattern, same spacing between vehicles. Only this time, it was heading straight toward the command center in El Paso. Agent Ryan Cole watched the screen in disbelief. "Those trucks, they're driving back," Agent Harper squinted at the radar. "How? They're miles inside restricted desert. There's nothing out there but sand." Cole grabbed the radio. "Convoy 7, this is command. Respond immediately." No reply, only static. A low hum, like a signal buried under the noise. Then, faintly, a man's voice came through. "Convoy secure. Mission complete." Cole froze. That was his voice. The whole room went silent. Harper stared at him. "What did you just say?" Cole shook his head. "That's not me." The voice repeated, "Convoy secure. Mission complete." And then the radio clicked off. The agents exchanged nervous looks. "Pull the backup satellite feed," Harper ordered. A few seconds later, grainy infrared images loaded on the screen. 5 heat signatures moving across the desert, perfectly aligned. But as the camera zoomed in, the shapes didn't match the vehicle's thermal outline. They were smaller, lighter, like empty shells moving on their own. Cole's heart pounded. "They're decoys." The room filled with chatter, text typing furiously, phones ringing, alarms sounding. The radar blinked again, showing the convoy less than 2 miles from a highway checkpoint. Harper barked, "Lock it down. Send the state patrol to intercept." But when the patrol arrived, there was nothing there. Just dust swirling on the asphalt and a faint scorch mark stretching across the road. No trucks, no people, no tracks. Hours later, Cole stood outside the command center, watching the sunrise over the desert. The air smelled like burnt oil. He couldn't shake the sound of his own voice coming through the radio. "How could they copy your voice, Ryan?" Harper asked quietly. Cole didn't answer. He was thinking about the drone they'd seen the night before, how it hovered just long enough to scan the trucks. What if it wasn't filming them? What if it was mapping them? He pulled out his phone and opened a private folder, old field notes from a defense project he had once worked on. The file name read MirrorWave. It was a classified system designed to scramble digital tracking by creating ghost duplicates of vehicles. Technology meant for the military. But it was canceled years ago. At least, that's what the government claimed. Cole whispered, "Someone rebuilt it." Before he could say more, the tech inside shouted from the control room, "Sir, we've got a signal. One of the trucks just came back online." Cole rushed inside. The screen showed a single dot, blinking faintly near a dried riverbed about 30 miles north. "Send a chopper," Harper ordered. Minutes later, the helicopter's camera feed appeared. The pilot's voice crackled through. "I've got visual. One armored truck. Doors open." Cole leaned in. "Any sign of the crew?" The pilot hesitated. "You're not going to believe this." The camera panned down. The truck was completely empty. Not a single dollar. Not a single fingerprint. But something was written on the inside of the truck door, burned into the metal like it had been seared by heat. 2 words, "Not alone." The pilot's voice shook. "Sir, there's something else. The engine just started by itself." The video feed went white. The helicopter spun violently, alarms screaming over the speakers. Cole yelled into the headset, "Pull up! Pull up!" No response. Then came the last thing they heard, a low mechanical hum, deep and pulsing, the same sound they'd picked up during the convoy's disappearance. And then, silence. The control room went completely silent. The last image frozen on the monitor showed the helicopter tilting sideways, desert sand swirling in a spiral below, then static. Agent Harper slammed his fist against the console. "We just lost them again!" Cole stood frozen, staring at the dead screen. "That sound," he whispered. "It's the same one from the first blackout." Technicians scrambled to re-establish contact, but the radar feed was blank. The entire area where the helicopter had gone down was now a black zone. No signal, no heat, no communication. It was as if the desert itself had swallowed everything. "Send recovery," Harper ordered. Cole shook his head. "If that signal's active, we'll lose them too." For the first time, Harper didn't argue. He looked shaken, and that scared Cole even more than the silence. By noon, Cole and a small ground team reached the crash site. The air was thick with dust and the smell of burned fuel. The helicopter was there, or what was left of it. The metal was twisted, half sunk into the sand like something had melted it from the inside. Cole's radio crackled weakly. "Agent Cole, this is command. Proceed with caution." He moved closer. "Copy that." The truck was still there too, the same armored vehicle from the earlier feed. It sat perfectly upright, its engine silent now. The words "not alone" still burned across the inner door. He reached out and touched the metal. It was warm, too warm. "Heat signature's wrong," said one of the techs. "It's been hours. It should have cooled by now." Cole turned toward the wreckage of the chopper. The pilot's seat was empty. No bodies, no signs of a fight, just missing. Then, behind the truck, something glinted in the sand. A small black device, no bigger than a phone. Cole picked it up carefully. The screen flickered to life on its own. There was a live video feed, grainy, gray, and shaking, showing the convoy, all 5 trucks parked neatly in a dim underground tunnel. The timestamp said 03:24 a.m., the same night they vanished. "What is this?" whispered Harper over the radio. Cole's throat tightened. "It's proof they never left the ground." He turned the device around, hoping to find a label or serial code. Instead, he saw a logo, a faded triangle with 2 letters inside, MW. "MirrorWave," he muttered. Back at the command post, Cole uploaded the footage to the secure system. Analysts confirmed it wasn't fake. The trucks in the tunnel matched the original VIN numbers from the Convoy manifest. But no one knew where that tunnel was. The sound from the video feed, that low mechanical hum, star, through the speakers again. Cole tried muting it, but the system wouldn't respond. The lights flickered. Then one of the analysts shouted, "Agent Cole, you need to see this!" The main monitor began showing a map. 5 red dots appeared across the US, each one pulsing in rhythm with the sound. Then a 6th dot appeared, right over El Paso, where they were standing. Cole felt the floor vibrate slightly beneath his boots. "Harper," he said, his voice low. "The convoy isn't just being tracked, it's moving again." The analyst looked up. "Sir, we're getting live data from—" Wait, that's impossible. He stopped mid-sentence. The building's lights cut out. Every computer screen went black. Then outside, a distant rumble rolled through the desert like thunder. Steady, mechanical, and growing louder. Cole looked out the window. Far beyond the horizon, 5 faint headlights were moving through the sand. "They're coming back," Harper whispered. The lights grew brighter, too bright. They weren't headlights anymore. They were beams, and then the ground began to shake. The desert floor shook as if something massive was moving beneath it. The lights grew closer, blinding white beams cutting through the early morning haze. "Everyone take cover," Harper shouted. Agents dove behind vehicles, shielding their faces from the glare. The sound was deafening now, a deep mechanical hum that vibrated through their chests like thunder in metal. Cole squinted through the dust. The shapes were becoming clear. 5 armored trucks, identical to the missing convoy. But they weren't moving normally. Their wheels didn't turn. They glided over the sand like they were floating. "Those aren't our trucks," Cole said quietly. The vehicles came to a stop 50 yards away. The engines were silent. The air smelled faintly of ozone, sharp and electric. Cole stepped forward, ignoring Harper's call to stay back. The nearest truck's door swung open with a hiss. Inside were the duffel bags of cash, neatly stacked. Every dollar accounted for, but there were no drivers, no crew. Only 5 helmets sitting in the front seats, each one with the DEA emblem scorched into the side. Cole reached inside and picked one up. It was ice cold. As he turned it over, a small black chip slid out from underneath the padding, the same triangular logo stamped across it. MW, MirrorWave, he whispered again. Harper and the others moved closer. "So what is it?" he asked. "Some kind of AI system? Remote control tech?" Cole shook his head. "Not just control. Replication. MirrorWave was designed to clone digital signals, even physical ones, using reflected satellite mapping. It was supposed to be scrapped years ago." Harper frowned. "Then how did it get here?" Before Cole could answer, the hum started again. Louder this time, coming from beneath the trucks. The sand around them began to ripple like water. Then, in a burst of wind and sound, all 5 vehicles started to sink. "Get back," Cole yelled. The trucks were being pulled downward into the desert floor, vanishing like they were falling through liquid. Cole grabbed the edge of one, trying to look inside. But as soon as his hand touched the metal, he saw something flash in his mind. A tunnel. Lights and people. The missing drivers. Alive. Standing in a dim underground room surrounded by machines that mirrored their every movement. Each one connected by wires to glowing versions of the trucks above. Then the vision vanished. The trucks were gone.